Welcome to our biology program. Now we are going to continue the reproduction in flower. In the last period, we talked about the reproduction in flower, and we described the parts of the reproduction, male and female, and the four whorls of the flower. Okay, we will continue the reproduction in flowering plant. Okay, in the last period, we talked about this, the structure of flower. What is the flowering plant, or what is the formation of these whorls? There are four whorls in the flower. These four whorls, number one, calyx, which contain the green leaves, sepals, okay, protect the flower and the inner part against the drought and rain. The second whorl is corolla, and this corolla follow the calyx, and this is one row or more, and this is characterized by the colored leaves, okay, and the leaflet of corolla known by petals. What is the function of the corolla? It attracts insects and also occur the pollination by attracting this insect due to its color. Flower whorls, andorhecium. What is the andorhecium? Andorhecium is the male organ. Andorhecium means collecting of stamens, group of stamens. Okay, we will describe what is the andorhecium. Andorhecium consists of numerous leaves called stamens, where each one of them consists of filaments carry on its apex a swollen structure called anther. This anther contains or consists of 4 sacs, each one named by pollen grains, or each one of these 4 sacs contains pollen grains. What is the function of pollen grains? Produce the male gametes. What is the gynecium? Gynecium, or the female flowering organ, which consists of carpel. The carpel described or consists of number one, stigma, style, and ovary. This ovary contains the ovule. Okay, ovary is the swelling base of the carpel that contains the ovule. After that, what is the style? Style is a thin neck that attaches ovary. The ovary and end with the stigma, that the stigma is a sticky disc to which pollen grain adhere. Okay, this figure shows the stigma, style, and ovary, which contains the ovules. What is the function of the flower? The flower performs its function in reproduction for species or continuity. Okay, also flower need to keep its species and need to keep it from extinction, so they undergo the reproduction by the two types. Requires the following. Reproduction in flower require first, formation of pollen grains, number 2, formation of ovule, number 3, pollination and fertilization, number 4, fruits and seed formation. What is this occurs? What is the pollination? Okay, now we are going to describe what is the pollination. Pollination is a process by which the flower can transfer the pollen grain from one organs or one flower to another. In plant, the plant also need like human or need like any species to keep its kind from extinction. How it keep its kind from extinction or increase the number of these species? By reproduction. First, what is the reproduction occur? In number 1, formation of pollen grains. Number 2, formation of ovules. Number 3, undergo pollination. What is the pollination? Pollination means the transfer of these pollen grains from the anthers to the flower. Maybe this pollination occur in the same flower. If the pollination occur in the same flower, named by self-pollination. But if the pollination occur from one flower to another, means mixed pollination. Okay, so there are self-pollination and mixed pollination. If the same flower self-pollination, in another flower named by mixed pollination. Okay. What are the methods by which the pollen grain can transfer? What are the methods by which the pollen grains can transfer? The pollen grains can transfer, number one, by the insects. When the insect stand on this flower, then it transfers to another flower. Okay? In the legs of the insect can be transferred pollen grains. Number two, by rain or through rain. أثناء المطر, what happens? The pollen grains can transfer. Also through wind, okay? Pollen grains can transfer. These are the methods by which the pollen grains can transfer from a flower to another flower to undergo mixed pollination, okay? But in self-pollination, the way is more easier. Why? Because the pollen grain transfer from the anther of the same flower to the stigma in the same flower in its place, not transfer from one flower to another. Okay? Now we will continue what the pollination. Okay? Means pollination, transferring of pollen grain from anther to the stigma. Okay? This is the transfer. When the anther open, this is the male anther open. When the anther open, what happens? It forms the pollen grains which found on the stigma, reach to the pollen or moves through the pollen tube until enter inside the ovule. What is the types of pollination? Self-pollination and the cross or mixed pollination. Self-transfer of pollen grain from anther of flower to the stigma of the same flower. Okay? But cross-pollination or mixed pollination, transfer of pollen grains from the anther of flower to the stigma of another flower. Also, what are the factors needed to occur self-pollination? To occur the self-pollination, the flower are hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodites means male and female. Two sexes must be found, matured at the same time. Okay? Self-pollination occur in the same flower, one flower. Hermaphrodites means contain male and female. Okay? When the organ become matured, okay, matured at the same time, what happens? The anther level must be higher than the stigma. If there is not occur, so the self-pollination is not happened. What is the cross-pollination? Cross-pollination means that the flowers are hermaphrodites, where the organs of one sex must be matured before the other sex organ. The level of anther must be lower than the level of the stigma. So the flower are unisexual in cross-pollination. Okay, fertilization in flowering plant. This process includes two important steps. Number one, formation of pollen grain or pollen grain germination. Okay, and when pollen grain falls on stigma, it forms or moves through pollen tube until reach to the stigma, okay, and enter the ovary when it reaches to micropyle. Micropyle found inside the ovary. The tube nucleus degenerates after the pollen grain reach to the egg cell in the ovary. This tube degenerates, means remove, yani not found. And what happens? While the generative nucleus divide mitotically to form them two male nuclei. Okay, this is happen. This is the pollen grain, vegetative cell, and after these two nuclei found, form nuclei tube or pollen tube. This is the pollen tube. The pollen tube then form the male gametes and the female gametes. What is the triple fusion? Triple fusion means the process of fusion of one of two male nuclei of a pollen grain with the two embryo sex nuclei to form endosperm nucleus. Okay, this is a question must be found in the last year exam. What is the endosperm nucleus? Endosperm nucleus, it is a nucleus that contains three nuclei. Okay, triple fusion, triple fusion. What is the double fertilization? Double fertilization, it is a type of fertilization in which one of the two male nuclei continue or combine with the egg cell to form zygote, which divides, forming embryo. Okay, this is the double fertilization. And the fusion of the other male nucleus with two embryo sac nuclei, each of them is N, forming the endosperm's nucleus, okay, which divides to form the endosperm tissue. What is the false fruit? False fruit, its ovary enlarges without food, such as apple, okay, in which the receptacle is enlarged, which is eaten. Okay. This is the false fruit, and this is important to know. Inside this, the ovary not undergo fertilization, also enlarge with food, okay, and this enlarged which is eaten, part of the false fruit اللي هي الابل يا ولاد. الابل دي بقول عليها انها false fruit. false fruit يعني فاكهه كاذبه. ليه؟ عشان الاوفري بتاعها حصل له enlarges بس with food, without baby, without producing of seeds. Okay, there is a endospermic seeds, okay, endospermic seeds which contain grains, and the exoendospermic seeds. Endospermic seeds and exoendospermic seeds. Endospermic embryo keeps the endosperm so that it remains present. But what is the exoendospermic? The embryo feeds on the endosperm during its development. So the plant has to store another food for the embryo into cotyledon. ده بنقول زي الفول. الفول أو البين seeds ده بنقول عليها إنها store food in the two cotyledons. Endospermic seeds or grains, the integument of the ovary and ovule fuse together, forming a single seeded fruit. Meanwhile, it is called the grain. Seeds with one cotyledon. This is the grain, like the corn grain. Exoendospermic seeds, the integument of the ovule, harden, forming the seed coat or testa. Meanwhile, it is called the seeds with two cotyledons. Seeds with two cotyledons. What's the parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy similar to parthenogenesis, okay, but this is occur in plant. Parthenocarpy, it is the development of fruit that devoid of seeds because they are formed with fertilization, which is not considered a reproduction. There are two types of fertilizations, what names by parthenocarpy and parthenogenesis. Parthenocarpy occurs in the plant, in which the plant grow and enlarge, okay, contain food which don't contain the seeds. This type of fertilization occur in flowering plant in which the seeds is not found, absence of seeds, while the parthenogenesis occur in the aphid insect, in honeybee, like we described in the last session. What is the type of parthenocarpy? Parthenocarpy, natural, as in banana and pineapple. البينابل اللي هو الأناناس، أوكي، نوع البارثينوجينيسيس دي natural parthenocarpy. Spraying stigma with extraction of pollen grains, okay, means if you bring the stigma of the plant and stimulate it to produce ovum by extraction the pollen grains and put this powder in ethyl or ether alcohol using inidol or naphthol acetic acid. Okay, this is two types of solution. Adding after removal of the pollen grain inidol or naphthol acetic acid. What is the male genital system? The male genital system, okay, before describe the male genital system, we stop to describe what is the reproduction occur. Reproduction occur in human, okay. We finish the reproduction in plant. Also, we finish the types of asexual reproduction Now we are going to describe the reproduction, sexual reproduction occur in human. Before we describe the sexual reproduction occur in human, we must describe what is the organs. Male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ. What is the structure of the two organs? The two organs found in human and reproduction is necessary biological process occur by the human but not depend on it. Okay? If there is a person cannot reproduce or cannot produce sperms, this is no important reason for continue its life. Okay, there is another biological process like nutrition, like growth, like excretion, a very important biological process than reproduction. Okay, so we cannot stop on the reproduction. Reproduction is biological process. If it is found, okay, the life continue and keep its kind from extinction and keep its name from degradations. Okay, but if there is no reproduction, it's okay. The life can continue. First, male reproductive. What is the male genital system? The production of sperm, the male genital system. Okay, number one, it consists of two testes, okay, and some of the glands. What are the glands found in the male? If you describe this male, we can see that is the male formed of, number one, the production of sperm, the secretion of male secondary or make sex hormones, the hormones or the secondary sex characters responsible for harshness of voice, okay, enlargement of muscles, strength and growth of facial hairs in different parts of the body. This is from the secondary sex character for the female. The structure of the female genital system consists of, number one, two testes, okay, the two testes outside of the body and keeping them for a scrotal sac. This scrotal sac keep them the temperature lowering than the body temperature to continue production of sperm. What is the structure of the male reproductive? Two testes surrounded by scrotal sac outside the body, keep temperature of two testes in cooler condition than body temperature to formation of spermatogenesis. What is the importance of the two testes? Okay, production of sperm and secretion of testosterone hormone. Okay, and this testosterone hormone responsible for the formation of male secondary characters at puberty. Puberty means that the individual reach to maturity. Okay, there are three glands: prostate glands, two seminal vesicle glands, and Cooper gland. Okay, there are three types of gland in the male reproductive system in human. Two epididymis. The epididymis, each of them is a tube. Epididymis, decoiled tube around itself, come out from the testes and lead to a vas deferens. The function of epididymis transfers the sperm from the testes to the outside the body by vas deferens. The two vas deferens, each vas deferens transports sperms from the epididymis to the urethra. Urethra means the tube in which the individual can get rid of urine and the sperm outside the body. Genital accessory glands. What are the genital accessory gland in male? Seminal vesicle that secrete fructose sugar. This fructose sugar nourish the sperm. Means the sperm feed on this type of sugar اللي هو الفركتوز شوجر اللي سكريتد عن طريق السيمينال فيزيكل. سيمينال فيزيكل دي نوع من انواع الجلاند الغدد اللي موجوده in male reproductive organ ودي مسؤوله عن انها تغذي او تعمل نورشنج للسبرم يعني تاكله عن طريق الفركتوز شوجر وده هي اللي بتصنعه السيمينال فيزيكل. اوكي البروستيت جلاند والتو كوبر جلاندز دول سكريت الكالاين فلويد بيبقى فيه فلويد الكالاين كده passes before that the sperm or seminal fluid اللي احنا بنقول عليه اللي هو seminal fluid, alkaline fluid or seminal fluid, to neutralize the acidity of the urethra which is acidic medium. اليورين ده بيبقى acidic, فلو السبرم خرجت واليورين موجود او في small traces of the urine هيحصل killing للسبرم. فbefore the sperm go out there is a fluid named by seminal fluid to neutralize the acidity. What is the penis? Penis is a spongy tissue organ in which the urethra passes, where the urine and the sperm are expelled outside. Means from the penis, the sperms and the urine come out from the male reproductive organ. Inside the penis also the urethra found. Okay, what happens inside the testis? Inside the testis, the spermatogonium happen or produce asexual reproduction to form primary spermatocyst. Then the primary spermatocyst undergo also mitotic division to produce the secondary spermatocyst. After that, each one undergo meiosis division to form the haploid number. How many cells produced? 4 cells. Okay, if you begin in the spermatogenesis, we start with only 1 cell, spermatogonium. This cell contains diploid number of chromosome, undergo meiosis division. This meiosis division by 2 steps, meiosis number 1 and meiosis number 2. Meiosis number 1 means mitotic division, and this mitotic division before occurs or before the cell occurs the division, it make phase known by interphase. In interphase, what happens? The cell duplicates the chromatin reticulum or the amount of chromosomes. Okay, amount not number of chromosomes. خلي بالي ان كميه الاماونت اوف كروموسوم بيحصل لها دوبليكيشن يعني بتتضاعف. اوكي، بعد كده بتبتدي نعمل مايوزيس 1 then مايوزيس 2. Spermatogenesis start with 1 cell and end with 4 cells. Each one of the 4 cells contain haploid number of chromosome. لو نبص كده على الفور سيلز اللي تحت اللي متكونين هنلاقي يا اولاد ان هم عدد الكروموسومز اللي فيها هاف ان بس، لكن انا كنت ستارت فوق في السبرماتوجونيوم بكام؟ ب 2 ان، يعني 4 كروموسومز كانوا موجودين عندي. ايه هو الاستراكشر بتاع السبيرم؟ هلاقي ان السبيرم دوت بيتكون من هيد، والهيد دي فيها نيوكليوس فيها 23 كروموسوم. طبعا اخلي بالي قوي من الاكروسوم، والاكروسوم ده بيبقى في الهيد، ده اللي بيبقى هيلب ان بنتريشن عشان تقدر السبيرم يعمل بنتريشن للاوفم ويقدر يخترق الممبرين بتاعها، فبيبقى فيه اكروسوم. بعد كده found at the forehead secretes the hyaluronidase. hyaluronidase enzyme ده نوع من الانزيمز اسمه hyaluronidase. اوكي، ده dissolve a part of ovum، بيدوب جزء من الاوفم علشان يعمل facilitate the penetration وال entering of sperm inside the ovum. Neck contains 2 centrioles which play important role in the division of the fertilized ovum. Okay, midpiece is a part of the sperm which contain mitochondria which supply the sperm with energy. This energy required for the movement of the sperm. The tail of the sperm consists of an axis which end with caudal piece help the sperm to move. Okay, this is the structure or the sperm formation: head, tail, and this is the midpiece which contain mitochondria. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy our lesson today. We finish the male reproductive and also we complete the female reproductive organ in the next session, inshallah.